Hi, I'm Terry Schmidt. Welcome to my program, Project Accelerate Now. Let's get started. First of all, congratulations. You made an investment in yourself, and that is always the highest rate of return. Stephen Covey put it this way: continually sharpen the saw. Develop new skills that position you to be effective in times of change. Skills that give you an edge, skills that bring a unique quality to a situation, and that's what this program is about. You're going to learn some practical best practices you can apply in work and in life. And I'm eager to be your coach. We're both going to have a lot of fun and learn a lot. The #1 program objective is to increase your ability to achieve greater success in work and life by transforming how you plan and implement projects. Why this program? Well, I work with a lot of men and women, well-educated, smart, in responsible positions, who are frustrated. They want to make a greater difference, but find it difficult to do so. Part of the reason, it's an era of growing complexity, faster pace, rapid change. We all feel increased pressure to get results. It's a time of both greater opportunities as well as risk. And traditional planning and implementation tools are limited. I'll explain how they're limited later and how to overcome those limitations. The importance of project world. We're all involved in projects. We live in project world, and be glad that you do. Take a look at the skyline of any large city. Look at the buildings, look at the monorail, look at all the technology achievements due to projects. It's projects that drive progress. Look at the electronic miracle you're watching this on. Again, it happens through projects. So projects are where the action is. It's where you want to be. You want to become a project master. Now, I don't mean you have to memorize all the formulae and calculations in the big, thick project management books, but you need to ask some critical questions that are not usually asked in projects. Today's projects aren't easy, as you well know. In fact, you may have some of these challenges. Dealing with tougher issues. Are the issues, the problems, the situations you're dealing with these days tougher than they were 3 years ago? Probably so. Do you deal with information and intangibles? In the old days, projects used to be about building things, and the project management methodology was designed for that. But today, it's a much more fluid environment. We're dealing with process, information, intangibles, culture, attitudes, and we need to be able to manage those. Traditional tools don't do it. We have multiple stakeholders engaged. We have stakeholders of all different technical backgrounds, of different political interests. So how do you get them all on the same page? We deal in new project configurations. Different project teams, some are virtual teams. Virtually every project that you're engaged in probably has a different cast of characters. That requires the ability to get together, to get moving fast, and that bogs down a lot of project teams. Do surprises come up along the way? Unpleasant surprises that perhaps could have been anticipated and avoided in the beginning? Is there a lot of talk but very little action, especially in large organizations? One of the reasons is they don't have a way to capture all the good ideas and build a cumulative plan. So as a result, they spend months taking what could have been done in days. And plans often fail. They often fail because they're not done correctly. I'm going to show you some best practice methods. So the new thinking, I believe, takes the best ideas from strategic planning, which is vital to anticipating the future and setting goals, and from project management, which is essential to getting there. And if we combine those two, like combining apple pie and ice cream, we get a wonderful combination called apple pie a la mode, or in this case, strategic project management. So what is strategic project management? Well, it's a more holistic, systems thinking approach to the issues you face, but with a very practical focus. I'm not going to give you a lot of academic jargon, a lot of theory. I'm going to give you enough so you understand and appreciate the ideas, but the focus is going to be on practical application. It's based on some sound underlying concepts. You'll identify some of those concepts. Others will be brand new. It's captured in a logical framework matrix. You're going to hear a lot about the logical framework. That's our primary organizing methodology for the program. What's great is the ideas are scalable. They work in large situations. They work at a corporate level. They work at a department level, a team level, a project level. They work at individual levels. And they're very flexible. It's an open system. It's linkable. It accommodates related methodologies. If you're involved in Agile or Lean, you'll see where this will fit. If you're involved in setting strategy, this is a perfect tool for you. I propose that the better, faster, smarter way is based on the logical framework approach. And as we go through the program, you'll appreciate how that really gives you more power to get things done. Many of you came here because of my book, Strategic Project Management Made Simple. It's my bestseller published by John Wiley. And in that, we talked about the logical framework approach. In this program, I'm going to go way beyond that and give you more practical ability to apply what I think is you're going to find to be very simple and effective way to think, plan, and act. The logical framework is well known in the international development arena because that's where it originated. If you work for the World Bank, if you work for the German Development Agency, our own agency, USAID, if you're a volunteer in a developing country doing projects, you're probably familiar with it. But the larger corporate world is just now beginning to discover the power of the logical framework, and it fills gaps. I was delighted that my colleague Eric Verzeau invited me to write a chapter on the logical framework in the latest edition of his #1 best-selling project management book in history. I recommend this book as well. What does the logical framework help you to do? Well, to tackle complex projects and goals, to organize the pieces into a solution, to get everyone on the same page, regardless of their technical background, regardless of the stakeholder interests they have, and it'll illuminate a common vision that all can work towards. Helps you design projects that succeed. 70% of projects don't. That's a dismal rate. We're going to up that batting average for you. To sell your ideas, especially important if you're a consultant trying to get business, to be able to show how your services are going to benefit something important to the client. Helps you build unified teams. Get teams that are committed and moving in the same direction faster to accelerate the forming and storming phases so you get into norming and performing much, much faster. Reduce risk in advance by avoiding the preventable problems. Bottom line, you'll be able to start faster and finish sooner. My life mission at this stage of my career is to help leaders at all levels, people like you, to think better, plan smarter, act faster, and get great results. Results which make a difference in the world that you operate in, whether that world is large or small. A little bit about my background so you can see how these ideas developed. I started out with an aerospace engineering degree, became a rocket scientist, spending time with NASA, playing a role in putting men on the moon for the Saturn program. That was exciting. And there I learned the art of project management. But most project management methodologies originated to build things, to construct buildings, to build rockets. And in those situations, you have a predictable, definable sequence of events. If you're building a building, you put the foundation in before the first floor before the second floor, and so forth. But in more fluid environments, in more fluid-based, learning-based incremental projects, we need better tools. I then became a government planner for the United States Department of Transportation in Washington, D.C., helping plan the future of the air traffic control system. There I learned the importance of strategic planning. The problem with strategic planning is most plans fail because there's not a clear linkage between the strategic intent and the projects designed to deliver that intent. Then I became a development advisor, working worldwide on projects for USAID and the World Bank. And I learned the art of systems thinking. What that means is you need to take a top-level, broad approach to designing projects that will work. The piecemeal methodologies that we so frequently use predictably will end in failure. For example, designing a project to improve child mortality in West Africa. You need to educate the mother. You need to be able to provide better food. You also have to be concerned about sanitation and the quality of the water supply, and you have to make sure that your solutions work in the culture you're dealing with. So those were some valuable lessons. That's actually where I learned the logical framework. I learned it from the founders, and I'm privileged to be able to share it now with you. Then I became a management consultant, working primarily with corporate and domestic government clients. And there I learned the art of how to get results, how to work with teams at the top, in the middle levels of an organization, and help them rapidly understand the problem they face and come up with a solution methodology. My clients really have been my best teachers, and I appreciate that. What your program includes. I've organized my very best thinking into weekly content modules. You'll get about 3 to 5 videos weekly. You'll get downloadable key points, best practice examples from real projects as well as from some example projects which are fun. I believe in having fun, by the way. I hope you do too. You'll get recommended exercises to deepen your skills as well as applications to your own project, checklists and learning aids along the way, and we'll have weekly Q&A sessions, so you'll be able to get answers to your most important questions. Recommended reading. Guess what I'm going to recommend you read along the way? That's right, Strategic Project Management Made Simple. It'll reinforce what you're learning through these webinars, but the webinars, of course, go much, much deeper than the book. And if you're going to read the book, I suggest a couple places you might read it. Read it where it's convenient, whether that's a big room or a small room. I have one friend who said, I put it on my bedstand. Why is that? He said, well, at night, if I can't go to bed, I'll pick up your book, and one of two things will happen. I'll be so inspired, I'll continue to stay up and I'll learn, or I'll be bored as heck and it'll put me to sleep. Either way, I win. Will you like the book? Perhaps that depends on which side of the room you're on. This is a program I recently did in Japan, and you'll notice the ladies standing on the right side don't look very happy about being there. But as you go to the left side, especially in the front row, you see a man who's absolutely ecstatic, and next to him is a man who's biting into the book. I told this Japanese group, you can eat my words. Perhaps he took me too literally. Here's how to maximize the benefits. 1, watch the videos. Watch them once, watch them twice, watch them 3 times to pull out the good ideas. Download the module notes and add your own comments to them. I've reproduced most of the PowerPoints as well as some additional value adds on this. And if it's just a transition PowerPoint, I haven't put that in because I want to save paper as well. Do the exercises, do the assignments. It'll deepen your knowledge and understanding. Tolerate temporary confusion. There's a startup learning curve to this, and you may find yourself a little bit confused or frustrated in the beginning. I guarantee, stick with it, you'll learn it. What I will do is provide the same basic ideas, and I'll cycle back and repeat those, embed them deeper with greater value. This is very simple, but it's not necessarily easy. So stick with it. If you're confused during the first couple of weeks, that's okay. I guarantee that you'll get it. And ask yourself, how can I apply this? Not only to your main projects, but to your daily life. I'm going to give you 4 strategic questions which have particular value in everything you do, in work-related projects, in life-related projects. And as I mentioned, do the book. Develop a project as we proceed. This is an ideal opportunity to work on something critical to you. Many of you in this program have me as a personal coach to help you with your project. You'll know if you do. You can do it now in these next 5 weeks or any time in the next year. The sooner the better, because if the ideas are fresh, you get the greatest value. So you can accelerate your ability to get results through projects. And as a former aerospace engineer, I learned the principles of acceleration. And in a sense, learning a new subject is much like launching a rocket. At the beginning, it can take 10 units of effort to get 1 unit of result. When we fired off the Saturn V Apollo moon rocket, it burned 6,000 pounds of fuel a second. And it moved very, very slowly. That was in the beginning. But as it gained momentum, as you will do through practice, 1 unit of effort will yield 1 unit of result. And as you continue to accelerate and you master these ideas, 1 unit of effort produces 10 units of result. And that's the acceleration I hope for you in this program. Now here's a personal learning activity. Answer these questions. What are some of the reasons you chose this program? What motivated you to invest your time, your energy, your capital? Second, what are some learning outcomes you'd like to achieve? Is it to work with diverse stakeholders, to be more strategic in how you approach things? Is it to start your own business? Is it to be more effective with clients? What would you like to learn how to do? And third, what are some specific projects, issues, goals, or dreams you will apply this to? I would be thrilled if you share this with me, drop me an email. That helps me to get to know you better, to respond to why you're here, because that's my goal, to make this the best learning program you've ever been part of. Future pacing. Let's just presume it's a year from now and you truly have accelerated your ability to achieve results. Put yourself in that position and ask, what big goals have you achieved looking back? What successes have you had that you're proud of? How has your personal identity expanded? How have your career prospects changed? How has your earning potential increased? What BHAGs, big, hairy, audacious goals, to use Jim Collins' terms, are you looking forward to taking on? This is the visioning process. It's exactly what Walt Disney did when he stood in front of an orange grove in Southern California. Nothing but orange trees, and said, there I see a castle. And over there I see Mount Matterhorn. And I see people having fun in the happiest land in the world. So if you put yourself in the future and look back, that's a psychological strategy to engage your inner resources in getting this, not only at an intellectual level, but at a gut level. And that's where real learning occurs. So my commitment to you is to make this the best program you've ever been part of. I want to help you succeed, and I will support you in every way possible. The visual you see here is of the strategy dogs. That's myself, and that's Mushka. Mushka happens to have some notoriety. He was the 2011 winner of the National Association for Strategic Planning Video Award. So he's got some strategic planning smarts. I may share that video later in the program. And any questions that you ask that I can't answer will go to the strategy dog. So contact me at any point for any issue. If you have a suggestion, a question, an administrative issue, the address to write to is projectaccelerate.now@gmail.com. So thanks again for being part of this. I'm delighted you're here. You'll love it too. Let's go.